Well, we're live. We're here. We're here to talk about something that happened. I mean, I don't quite know what happened there, but I mean something happened. There was definitely a match that happened. I mean, Matthew, you're here. There was definitely a match that happened, right?
I think so, yeah. Something happened. I don't know what it was, but something happened.
There was something that was there. I don't know what it was, but it was there. Like, I don't understand the fact of like so I get being excited about a win, but like at the same time, like we're Manchester United playing at home against Young Boys, and it took us stoppage time to win 1-0. I'm not saying every result has to be perfect, but stoppage time to win 1-0. Like, Matthew, go ahead. I need a breather for a second.
I'm going to go on a full-blown rant here about a set of Marouane Fellaini, because this guy's just lost me £500 in bet winnings all season. It's an absolute joke. In the Derby match, 2 months ago, I put a bet in Derby to win in 90 minutes. That was all going well. Then Fellaini decides to nod in the head at the last minute. It cost me 300 quid in winnings. Same thing happened today. I put a bet on a 0-0 draw. And he comes up with another header in the last minute, getting PTSD at this rate. Shocking. The game was just a bit of a joke, in all honesty. Like, there were so many missed chances, it was absolutely comical. Like, that Derby game, there was sort of bits of that came to mind when seeing all those misses over and over again. And then it was deflected shots from Young Boys. I thought, yeah, they're going to score here. I mean, luckily they didn't. It's still happy with the win, don't get me wrong, but, 190 quid would have been good.
Yeah, exactly. Real quick, just wanted to say hi. I mean, we've got quite a lot of people here live with us. We've got, let's see here. We got Ibrahim. We got Saban, Mr. Exclusive. We got Vandy Candy. We got Jay Hart. We got Dan Jones. We got Ben M. We got, I know I saw Sally. We got Michael Hubbard, Chris McTeague. Good to see you guys all in here. Guys, like, honestly, we're probably going to be taking a lot of comments today because I am so royally pissed off right now at the fact that it took us so long to break down Young Boys at home. I don't understand it. I mean, Matthew, be real. Like, going into this match, what did you expect?
An absolute battering of a 0-0 draw, in all honesty. I thought it was just going to be another 0-0 again. There was a absolutely brilliant stat being brought up in the first half. And Man United have now not scored in the last 11 first halves, which is just downright shocking. So the last 11 games, we've not scored in the first half. I don't care what team that is. That's a terrible record.
Kazim, I don't know. He said, I'd love for people to please explain why United fans still support Mourinho. I'm lost. I mean, dude, I don't know.
No idea.
I have no idea. I can't explain it to you. And Chris McTeague, he said, is there any better word to describe tonight's performance than embarrassment? Probably not. Probably not. Because I had to, so Vandy Candy said I had to celebrate it just for my win of an under on 4.5 goals for a bet. So fair enough. So
at least he won a bet.
At least he won the bet, right? So guys, I thought I'd read you off some quick stats here. So in terms of ball possession, it was 61% to 39% for Manchester United. We had 4 attempts on target to their 0. Even though I don't know how that makes sense because De Gea had a pretty damn good save. So, like, these are coming, just so you guys know, these are coming from Sky Sports. Like, this isn't me coming up with these stats. This is Sky Sports. So, there was definitely 1 attempt on goal. We had 22 total attempts to their 11. We had 1 save to their 3. Which, there we go. How do you have 1 save with no attempts on goal? Come on, Sky Sports, get your...
Was it a deflected shot, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That David De Gea had to save.
Yes.
So the first shot itself was probably off target and then got deflected in its way to De Gea's pass. So that's probably why they've done that.
Here's my favorite stat of the day. So distance covered. We covered 112 kilometers to their 116 kilometers. Explain that to me. How is that possible? That we won the game.
We're the home team against a terrible side. We just sit there like that's my own playing that contributed to it.
Fair.
We're just standing offside for 90 minutes.
I mean, just so you guys know, so Matic today had the most total passes with the best percentage, but I did keep track of Matic's passes today, and basically 96% of his passes were passed backwards. Like, absolutely ridiculous. Backwards or sideways, I should say. And then Fred was the next with 70 passes at a 92% completion percentage. And then after that, we dropped off dramatically to like so Luke Shaw had 60 at 79%. Jones was 54 for 90%. Fellaini 52 passes for at 81%. I'm lost, man. I'm lost. Matt Marcus, good to see you in here, man. But I mean, Matthew, we traveled less distance than them in this game. That's directly down to a midfield that consisted of Matic and Fellaini.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I actually
was the only sort of source of mobility in that midfield.
Yeah.
And considering the options next to him, he actually played quite well. Yeah, his passing was a bit, suspect at times, but he was the only one who had any sort of attacking intent.
Like, I mean, honestly, so right before the match, Arthur decided that he wanted to get sick and he threw up here in the office a little bit. And, honestly, I think that it was probably at finally seeing the lineup that was run out there today. I mean, Matthew, when you saw that lineup, I mean, give me your reaction to that.
Right, you know what Arthur did?
Yeah,
exactly that.
You see, yeah, I mean, actually, honestly, I don't blame you.
Yeah, I fell asleep most of today, and I woke up about half an hour before the kickoff and looked at that lineup, and I thought, oh, great. Phil Jones and Chris Mullins done. I think we're all expecting that. But just seeing that confirmation of it was just, that other nail in the coffin for Mourinho. And then seeing Fellaini and Matic start together. What's all that about?
I expected to see Fellaini, and I actually expected to see Matic, but I didn't expect to see Fred. I genuinely didn't, which was a nice surprise. And Ben, you asked a great question. Where was Delo in this game? He started the last one against Young Boys. Why not today?
Started the last game and in the first 10 seconds put in more crosses than Valencia's done in his entire career.
Yeah.
But doesn't play the best fixture because he's not 29.
Yeah, he's only 10 years younger than that. No big deal, whatever. But, I mean, Sally, Matic and Fellaini, two slowest, dreadful midfielders, is mind-numbing. I completely agree, Sally. When I saw the lineup released, I kind of was expecting to get a 0-0. I honestly was. Because I was like, there's no creativity in that lineup. We're going to have Marcus Rashford out there running around a lot. Fine, cool. But Marcus Rashford can't finish right now. And today, his finishing was absolutely dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. I mean, Matthew, just real quick thoughts on Marcus Rashford because, I'm at a loss for words with the kid, man.
I've said it so many times, he's a great athlete, but not a good footballer. And that game just summed it up perfectly for him. He probably could have got at least a hat-trick. Like that first chance where the keeper came out and he tried to lob it. He probably should have scored that, but it's not the end of the world if he misses that. But Jose's reaction there was just stupid.
Yeah.
Like, us as fans can rant about it, but when you see your own boss like that 5 minutes into a game after you've missed one chance, you're going to be watching that back and thinking,
why am I here?
Just missed the one chance here at this time. Why is he doing this? Facing the fans, being like, what do I do? I just don't get it.
Yeah, and Ben,
for that whole game, Rashford his final ball was atrocious.
I mean, yeah, no, it was. And Ben M, I completely agree with you. Agree with you. Marcus Rashford's confidence is completely gone under Jose, and I completely agree with that. I think a lot of it comes down to the fact that under Mourinho, Marcus Rashford has zero confidence. Zero confidence. Because you see what happens when he goes to England. He looks great when he goes and plays for England. Why is it that all of our players go to international duty and they all look great, but then they come back and they all look shit? I don't understand. Yeah, a football crew show. I mean, another lucky. He said another lucky win for United. I hope we get Barcelona in the knockout round. Honestly, Barcelona would make us look like young boys. Should like honestly, they would. I mean, Messi would probably do a dance around, Chris Smalling, and I'm in a complete. I'm so pissed. Like, I'm actually more pissed off about this game than I was about the Crystal Palace game, because we've already beaten these guys. We've already beaten these guys 3-0 at their home, and it took us so long to break them down. Yeah, and Jay Hart said if we get Barcelona or even PSG, scoreline will be 6-0 for like compilation. Yeah, completely agree.
Can you imagine that Mbappe and Neymar up against our fullbacks?
Oh my God, dude! Like,
and then big Cavani in the middle up against Phil Jones. An absolute bloodbath.
Oh, dude, not even a question. Like, if you were to put us against anybody right now, and it would come down to the tactics. Listen. I believe we've got a world-class squad, guys. I've said this time and again. I believe we have a world-class squad, but we do not have the manager that's getting the best out of that world-class squad. I think that we have the players that are there that if they went and played for anywhere else, they would look like absolute world beaters, which is almost why I'm rooting for Marcus Rashford to go out on loan and go do something, because I think Marcus Rashford would actually look good if he went somewhere else. And VidCon, I agree. He said United will not win the Premier League for the next 5 years. I mean, if we get the right manager in, I disagree. But if Mourinho's still here this year and next year, hell no. Hell no. So, I mean, Matthew, I'm kind of at a loss for where to go next, because other than like the fact that we were just so bad. I mean, do you want to go over, because I know you took a couple pages worth of notes. Go over some of these notes, man. I would love to hear what you got.
Yeah, let's do it. The passing was absolutely shocking in the midfield third. There's so many times players would just take one touch, look around every single direction and play an absolute hospital pass sideways. That was terrible, especially in the first half. One thing to note as well, the attendance. The attendance was shocking. That's the stuff that we mock Man City for. And Rashford again, terrible final ball too. First half especially, we looked like a team of kids who have never played football before. Like, no one, it just wasn't a team. There was occasionally a good couple of runs and so from like Martial or whatever. But his final ball as well was terrible. Although he won't get as much criticism because he's been on such good form and he wasn't quite as bad as Rashford. That stat about Matic's passing, that's quite interesting actually. So I thought his passing was rubbish, or at least for the most part. Most of his passing, as you said, was backwards.
I was going to say, when all you do is pass backwards in like less than 5 to 10 yards,
percentage.
Yeah, you're bound to get a high percentage. Yeah. All he does is pass backwards. It's all he does.
I don't know. Again, every single game I see him in the starting 11, I think, what is it going to take for him to get dropped? Even for one half or something? To just try someone like a Fred or Andy Pereira in that role. Like, it's not going to hurt. We're already bad enough. One game in which we experiment a bit isn't going to change anything. Or it's not going to change anything major in terms of league position or whatever. I don't get why Lukaku is brought on. Again, it's kind of like Matic now. He's just got an obsession with playing him, despite him being an absolutely horrific form. And I'm not sure if you saw the comparison photos of Lukaku from a year ago compared to Lukaku now.
Oh, it's actually such crazy. Yeah.
And there was a thing a few weeks back with a striker who plays for Celtic called Lee Griffiths. He's some man. He most famous for scoring 2 goals in the space of 2 free kicks in the space of 90 seconds against England. Some game that was. But yeah, in the last.
Oh, Matthew, you dropped out there, just so you know. Matthew might have muted himself, guys. So real quick, I figure that we'll go into this a little bit. So Chris McTeague, he said, yes, the attendance was horrible, and stewards were pulling fans aside to see if they were the season ticket owners. And honestly, that blows my mind that we've reached a point where, like, people are literally having to give their tickets away to get, like, and honestly, that's where I don't understand. I would think that Manchester United would want the seats filled for a Champions League match, no matter who's going to be in the seats. I know, right? Jay Hart. So Matthew got so frustrated that he just dropped off. And then Ben, so you said talk about the Mourinho's comments, talked about his Champions League, his record in the Champions League, and the one season he wasn't in it, and he won the English League. Mourinho United FC. Seriously, Ben, like Matthew's back. Matthew's back.
I had my controller ran out of batteries because I do my Skype through Xbox, and I didn't touch my controller in about 10 minutes. Shocking. I do apologise for that.
You're all good, man.
Where was the last part that you had?
So
was it about Lukaku's weight or something like that?
You were talking about the free kicks from the Celtic guy.
Oh, what a man. What a man. But yeah, so he was told by Brendan Rodgers to take 6 weeks off and lose some weight and come back. And he did that, scored a goal in his return. And is back to being a bit of a fan's favourite now. I think Lukaku needs that exact treatment. Yeah. And if I was the Man United manager, I'd just say to him, lose some weight or show signs of progress in the next 6 weeks or before Christmas or whatever, or else you're getting the sack or you're getting sold or whatever. That would be my kind of ultimatum to him, to test actually how committed he is. Because right now, especially with that Bleacher Report interview, he knows that he's invincible unless he does something absolutely catastrophic.
Well, so real quick, Matthew, I don't know if you heard. So Chris McTeague brought up an interesting tidbit about the game today, that they were pulling aside fans to see if they were actually the rightful season ticket holder, and then they're also now banning season ticket holders if they sold their ticket to somebody else. And like for a club that's at the state that we're at right now, I think they would be begging people to show up.
Yeah, they should. Like, did you see that attendance? It was shocking. Oh, like I said, that's the thing that we mock Man City for.
I guarantee you that there had to have been 2,000 to 3,000 empty seats just in that lower area you could see on television.
Yeah.
Like, it just absolutely pathetic. And then Ben did clarify. He said that he meant Mourinho was talking about his Europa League record. Like, I'm sorry, that's not anything to be bragging about. Nothing to be bragging about. Bragging about being in the Europa League.
Mourinho's record. I want to know Man United's record of what he's done at Man United.
No, here's the thing: you've done next to nothing at Manchester United, Mourinho. Yeah. Nobody cares about what you've done everywhere else. What have you done for Manchester United? Jack shit. You won us the Europa League and you won us the League Cup. Congratulations, the 2 cups that almost nobody cares about. Like, if you're going to brag about that, like, and I don't know we talked about it before, but we're not going to brag about that 10 years down the road. We're not. Yeah. We're going to.
Like, it's nice when we win it and all that, we're happy, but that should be like a starting block to improve on. Yeah, instead, we've just gone backwards and backwards and backwards.
Yeah. It's the Football Crew show. He said, I wonder what Sir Alex Ferguson and chief executives who sat and watched tonight's match was thinking, and I could see a club meeting happening. I mean, in all honesty, I doubt it. I don't have the faith in this board to do the right thing and to fire a manager that's getting nothing out of people. They're not getting anything out of these guys. Like, they care about their money, and that's it. Like, and Ben, I know that was exactly Ben's point. He said that, that was exactly my point. Just stop talking about yourself, Jose. Like, honestly, do stop talking about yourself.
Yeah.
And I mean, Michael Hubbard, if Jose had the right preparation from last season, I guarantee he'd be challenging right now. So, Michael, just because I know that you're still kind of Mourinho in. So, what exactly do you mean by like the right preparation, Michael? Because, like, are you talking about if he had another defender? Because I don't get what another defender would be doing and the fact that we can't score goals. I just don't.
I think some people, not particularly Michael, but some people act like if we sign one centre-back, then we've cured every disease known to man. It's not as easy as that.
Like, and here's the thing. I'm not saying that if he hadn't had one more defender, that maybe he would have, like, allowed things to be more free. Maybe. But I guess I'm confused by exactly what you mean. So, but Matthew, let's go ahead and we'll jump into our player ratings right now. So I'll let you go first. Go ahead. Start from and if we'll just go player by player. We'll start De Gea and we'll go from there.
Right, we'll start from the keeper. Only really good rating in the whole team, so it's going downhill from here. De Gea gets an 8 for that save alone. Oh, he's some boy. Some boy, I'll tell you that for nothing.
Where would we be without David De Gea? Like
Championship,
relegation battles. That's where we would be. Like, and I gave De Gea an 8 as well because just that one save alone, how he reacted, and he had to have run a good 5 yards before he even made the dive.
Like that save's the equivalent of a striker scoring a goal from like 30 yards out or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what this guy gets paid to do, and he does it on the regular. So an 8 for him. Valencia, give him a 5. His passing was too risky in his own defensive third. His crossing again is what we expected from Valencia, completely inaccurate. But I wouldn't say it was an absolute disaster for him.
So I personally, which real quick, I just want to read something from Chris McTeague. He said, Jose is a short-term manager who has now overstayed his welcome. History shows evidence of capitulation and signs there for all to see. And I completely agree with you, Chris. Completely agree. But Michael,
if you want to play Jose's game of talking about his history, look at his third season with Chelsea, his last season with Chelsea.
Yeah.
That's going to show continuation, apparently, according to him. So
look at what happened at Real Madrid.
Lost at his own game.
Like, but play Jose Mourinho Wi-Fi. That's funny shit. Honestly, and Mr. Exclusive, I agree. He's dragging down the legacy of Manchester United. The club have not done well in outgoing transfers. I mean, Michael, we haven't done horrible. We've gotten good money for players like Memphis Depay and you go to Schneiderlin. I think we got good money for Schneiderlin. I don't know what we got for Bastian Schweinsteiger. Like, I don't know what we got for him.
On a free.
But I thought that he left on a free, but I didn't know for a fact. Yep. But yeah, so I mean, Michael, I am curious. I don't know if you heard me or not, but Michael, I know you were kind of defending Mourinho a little bit. I'd like to know kind of where your defense of him is coming in, because like, are you talking about like if he had gotten the defender that he wanted, or if he had more money to go buy more players overall? I guess I'd love to know where you're coming from with it. That's all. But so Valencia, I gave him a 6. Only reason being is that we kept a clean sheet. So I feel like everybody in the back line deserves to not be below a 5 for keeping a clean sheet. Now, ultimately, you're right. I don't think that Valencia really did much, but it's also his first game back from being banished for liking an Instagram post. So, I'll give Valencia a 6. I mean, but I think a 5 is a very fair rating too. Very fair rating. So Michael Hubbard, Rooney on a free, Zlatan on a free, Mkhitaryan bad swap, Blind on the cheap. I mean, how much did Blind go for? Does anybody know?
15 million, I think.
15 million. Okay, that's not a lot of money, but at the same time,
that's 1 million less than how much we paid for him. To be fair, he does have a point about us selling for cheap.
We do.
There was that one transfer window with Nani, Van Persie, Raphael, and someone else went for a combined £16 million.
But I think that if you were to put it this way, though, I mean, you look at some of this list, though. Rooney on a free. He wasn't playing Rooney, and he was making Rooney look even more crap than he already was. I mean,
that Rooney thing is fair enough.
So Zlatan on a free. I mean, Zlatan was going to go no matter what after the season. So, I mean, why not let him walk and go play in the MLS? Mkhitaryan, bad swap. I mean, but one thing I will say is at the time, that looked like that should have been a world-class swap deal. It looked like it. I'm not saying that it has wound up that way, but it looked like it was going to be a world-class swap deal. And then Blind on the cheap, that's the one I do agree with you on. But at the same time, he wasn't playing Daley Blind as a center back like he should have been. And talk about how perfect somebody like Daley Blind would be right now in this squad that is a ball-playing center back. It's something that could be perfect for us. But, I mean, then Schweinsteiger on a free. There's another one that Mourinho just completely left out of the squad. I mean, yeah. I don't really blame much of that, but I think that we should be getting – he's not even getting the most out of his signings that he's got. That's where my argument is. He got signings, and he's not even getting the most out of them. So, yeah. But anyways, I'm sorry. We'll get back into our player ratings, Matthew. So Smalling is what did you give Smalling?
To be honest, rating both centre-backs is a bit difficult. I gave Smalling a 5 because, again, like him, Jones, Matic and Valencia, those 4 players, the passing in the defensive third was far too risky, but ultimately he kept a clean sheet, so could be a 6.
So that's where my argument is, and that's where I'm giving both Chris Smalling and Phil Jones a 6 because they both did assist in keeping a clean sheet. It's not like they really did much, and it's not like Young Boys really threatened us that bad, but they still did assist in keeping a clean sheet. So, I mean, what did you give Phil Jones a 5 too? Just curious.
I gave him a 6.
You gave Phil Jones a 6
just for that run alone. Not that run like 70 minutes in. We just thought, nah, screw it. I'm going up the right wing and putting in an absolutely delightful cross.
Yes, the greatest cross of all time.
Oh, unbelievable.
And I gave Jones a 6 too. So we'll go to Luke Shaw, who I think actually deserves a better rating than anybody else on that back line.
Yep, 100%. 7 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, I gave him a 7 as well. I think that he made good runs down the left. He did put in the cross that led to the goal. I know that Lukaku headed it on to Fellaini, but I basically give Luke Shaw that assist. I think that Shaw deserves a 7. Easily deserves a 7. Now go to our favorite player, Matthew. Let's go to Matic.
The Man Static. To be fair, it wasn't his worst performance ever, but he just offered nothing. His passing again, just all of his passes were backward, playing a couple of annoyingly risky passes in areas that he shouldn't be doing, so 5 from him.
And I give Matic a 5 as well. I mean, seeing his passing stats really did surprise me. And honestly, I think that he didn't do horrible today in defense, but in fairness, I think that you could have literally run out anybody in that match, and they probably wouldn't have looked horrible because Young Boys aren't the greatest of teams, which is also why we should have put an absolute battering to them. But we didn't. So, but I'll give Matic a 5. By the way, Mr. Exclusive, he comes up with a class comment, as always. So if Jose stays, we lose De Gea. De Gea and Pogba. We lose Martial. And we lose every youth prospect and future signings. Yeah. Spot on, Mr. Exclusive. Spot on. So, I mean, we'll go ahead and we'll move on to Fellaini, who wound up getting the winner. But besides that, in my opinion, had a pretty crap game overall.
Yeah, it's insane. In terms of ratings, I gave him a 6 purely because he got the last-minute winner. But his overall game, you'd probably say a 5. He was just far too forward for the whole game. Offside about 17,001 times. In terms of offering stuff to the build-up, didn't really offer anything. And given how Matic was so regressive in his passing, Fred was the only one who actually looked to progress the ball forward. And it was a bit difficult for him, but made more so by Fellaini.
Fellaini is Jose's GOAT. Yeah, of course he has been. Of course he is. Like, and just so you know, Kazim, I mean, we will one day probably open this up to do like call-in style, like one day. But I mean, for now, because we're a little bit smaller of a stream, everybody can get their comments basically seen and read out. For now, we'll continue going like this, where Matthew and I will just discuss the game, or whoever is going to be the guest afterward will discuss the game. Just it works out okay. But one day, Kazim, we will do that. But I gave Fellaini a 6.5. Because of the winner, that's the reason why I ultimately gave him a 6.5. If he hadn't have gotten the winner, I probably would have given him a 4.5 because he was really, really not good today. Like, he didn't offer anything like he normally does. Like, he didn't really do anything. He didn't do anything. Matic did more than him. And that says a lot because I think Matic didn't even have a good game, but Fellaini did less than him. So I didn't understand the substitution of Pogba for Fred, which we're going to go ahead and get into Fred, who I thought actually had a pretty decent game overall, but I actually think that anybody would have looked decent compared to the two static men in the middle.
Yeah, I'd say the same. Fred would probably get a 6. Like, he didn't have a great game by any means, but he was the only player who actually was progressive in his style in the midfield, that is. And it was hard for him because of Matic and Fellaini not really giving him any support. So it was a decent game. It was pretty encouraging too.
Yeah.
And hopefully Mourinho actually sees the light and starts playing him.
Yeah, I hope so, man. I hope so. I hope that this game right here will carry him on into another game. And I don't know when we're going to finally get it again, when we're finally going to get Fred, Pereira, and Pogba in the midfield. I don't think it'll ever happen again. But, I mean, we've got a game coming up against Southampton that I think that would be the perfect game to run out of midfield 3 like that. Like, perfect game to get some experience for some players. But you know that Mourinho is basically fighting for his job week in and week out. So you know that he's going to put out his best 11, Mourinho's best 11. So I gave Fred a 6.5. I think that he had a pretty decent game. You saw his passing stats and how good we looked with our passing stats from him. So I think that right there says a lot. He controlled the midfield in that box-to-box role. And I think that Fred deserves a 6.5, and he deserves another start in the weekend against Southampton. 100% deserves another start. I mean, Matthew, you know what? Pick who you want to go with next, because all 3 of our attackers really didn't do great, but, I mean, go next.
I'll go with Lingard, since he's on the right wing and natural progression when going through a team.
Fair enough.
He was probably, I don't know if I want to say he was the best at the front 3. He didn't get that involved, but he didn't do too much wrong. So it's a bit of a weird one, so I'd give him a default 6 rating.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, I didn't really, here's the thing. Other than like a couple of times, I didn't notice anything Jesse Lingard did. Yep. Like, genuinely, I just didn't. And so I gave Lingard a 5 because I didn't even notice him. That's a problem. Like, he was running around all over the place like he always does. Don't get me wrong. He always is running. But sometimes running isn't good enough. So it's I don't know how to feel about Lingard. And honestly, it's the same way I'm starting to feel about Rashford, that they're just not good enough. Like, just sadly, they're just not good enough for Manchester United. And I think that – and Ben, I honestly don't know. Ben asked, whatever happened to Messi Lingard? Like, Alexis Sanchez came to the team. That's what happened. That's what happened. Because ever since Alexis Sanchez came to Manchester United, Lingard has been non-existent. It's the truth. So, I mean, so I'll give Lingard a 5. You give him a 6. We can go with a 5.5 as a middle ground.
Sounds fair.
So, we'll go to Martial on the left next. I think Martial had a decent game and was always trying things, but ultimately it was basically the same thing as Crystal Palace.
Yep. Remember that thing about Lukaku mentioning that he's been sort of tutoring Rashford and Martial in their play style?
Yeah.
I think that bad first touch has kind of rubbed on Martial in the last couple of games. That's the biggest effect that we've seen from Lukaku in the last few months. Because in that Crystal Palace game, his first touch was atrocious.
Yeah.
And you saw that a few times in this game too. Problem with Martial was he was getting in so many good possessions. He'd pick up the ball, run at the defence, but just wouldn't do anything after that. And there was so many times where Luke Shaw was making an overlapping run and you just didn't really see him. So if he was to link up better with Luke Shaw, then could have probably been 2 or 3-0.
There was the one play that was ruled offsides that he did have a good bit of link up with Luke Shaw. And I didn't think that he was offsides, but, you know, Martial's what I mean. And so funny enough, Kazim literally just said it as I was thinking it. I feel like Martial sometimes gets too locked in at running at a defender and decides not to pass off. And that's something that under a new manager, somebody that can actually bring the best out of him, maybe he can actually learn, like, to when you have your head up, about playing the ball out wide to your fullback that's coming forward. Because I think that Martial right now is somebody that, along with Marcus Rashford, could be so much better than they are. And I asked the question earlier to Drati, and I know that we all agree on it, but I think that if LVG was still here, that Marcus Rashford and Anthony Martial would look like world beaters at this point. Because they looked amazing underneath him. But they've looked completely shit underneath Mourinho. I mean, Matthew, do you think that we would actually be better off, like, with players like Martial and Rashford under LVG?
See, the problem is with LVG, he was kind of like Mourinho in that you get maybe about 2 chances a game. But for some reason, under Louis van Gaal, it kind of forced you to be clinical. And when he signed Martial, he was the absolute definition of it. Under Mourinho, we've just got... Okay, Martial's been great for the last couple of months or whatever. But on the whole, we've not really had that clinical finisher. But under Louis van Gaal, I'd probably say it's difficult because he probably would have signed another striker. And maybe
I agree with that.
So it's hard to really evaluate it. But if we're going based off the season that he had under Louis van Gaal, which was an absolute blinder of a season considering he was, I think, 19 or 20, he probably would be even better now, unfortunately.
I mean, I agree with that, like, to an extent. Like, I think that our young players would be thriving with LVG. And that's where my problem comes in, is we've still got a lot of those young players that were here under LVG, and they're not getting their chances. They're not getting their opportunities. And that's where I think that somebody like LVG, and it's where we need to get our next manager in, that will help us to develop players like Martial and Rashford and Tahith Chong and Angel Gomez. Because, I mean, Drati put out a fantastic tweet today talking about how world stars, like people like Ronaldo and Messi, they make their debuts at between 16 and 19, and they break onto the scene, and then they develop and they become world stars because they actually made an impact during that time. And how we're starting to lose out on that ability to have that with Tahith Chong and Angel Gomez. We really are. So the sooner we can get a new manager in, I think, is the better. But this isn't about being Mourinho out right now. This is just about talking about the match, unfortunately. Well, actually, no. I'm still Mourinho out. Get him out.
I think most of us are at this rate.
Get him out. Go. Go away.
Apparently, it only cost 14 million now to get him sacked.
Only 14?
You know, I've got a spare little bit of money in my bank account. Not 14 million, but
bro,
I can maybe chip in.
If all Manchester United is about money, let's start up the GoFundMe now, guys. Can we raise 14 million?
GoFundMe.
Let's start up the GoFundMe to pay off Mourinho's contract, guys. You down? Let's start the GoFundMe for 14 million to be donated to the club. They already make billions of pounds.
To be fair, the Glazers would just stuff it in their pockets, wouldn't they?
They probably would. They probably would. So Mr. Smith said it's open. He started it. Oh, man. And by the way, AFAF, I saw your comment earlier about when is this going to end. Bro, I don't know. I don't know when this is going to end with Mourinho, but it needs to. This just needs to be done so bad. But, I mean, we'll get into the last player, man, with Rashford, who we talked about it a little bit earlier. He had one of those games that just make you just shake your head. Just, like, so bad.
We got Rashford left to
get
ratings for.
Yeah, so Rashford, and then we'll talk about the subs.
Okay, yeah.
But
right, Rashford is the most frustrating player I've seen in the last couple of years. Like I've said so many times that I'm sick of saying it. He's a great athlete, but a bad footballer. And today just summed it up.
His finishing is just so poor, man. Like you're talking about being in the 6-yard box and him shooting it about 8 yards wide.
Exactly, yeah. It just doesn't make any sense. Like for those who play FIFA, right? He's like that guy in pro clubs who just one pass it and will just shoot it every possible time, and he does your head in big time. He's that player, and he's so annoying to watch.
And it's so frustrating because like Mourinho, Mourinho has ruined the confidence of so many players, but I think that above all players, it's Marcus Rashford, which also makes me wonder if maybe at this point Marcus Rashford is intentionally not trying to put shots on target. Because for how far wide he shot it today, twice, I was like, bro, like, are you intentionally trying to miss? Because they were bad. Like, those were bad misses.
Yeah.
And then he had the one-on-one earlier that he put over the net. Like, I'm at a loss for Rashford, man. I gave him a 4. I mean, do you agree with a 4?
I gave him a 5 purely because he created so many chances himself, but finishing-wise, he was a -3 out of 10.
Yeah. If he had just finished one of those, he probably would have been man of the match today.
Oh, yeah. Like I'd say any other striker, but I forget Lukaku exists. If most other strikers had his chances, he would have scored at least 2 goals.
And Vandy Candy with the comment. I'm sorry, not Vandy Candy. I'm sorry. Jay Hart with the comment of the day. He said Rashford's been training with Lukaku. Yeah. No, that's
exactly what I said about Martial.
Yeah.
He's been too busy training with him.
They're too busy training. Too busy training on that finishing. And the person they shouldn't be training with their finishing on, which is probably the only reason why I would have been okay with bringing back Ronaldo. Because ultimately, I think that he would have been helpful in training finishing. Because I genuinely can't think of a finisher better than Rashford. I mean, than Ronaldo.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, subs real quick, Matthew. I mean, none of the subs really made that big of an impact. I mean,
the substitutions were so frustrating because you just knew he was going to get taken off.
Oh yeah, you knew Fred was going to get taken off.
Once that came up and you saw, number 17 in red, I thought, oh, what is he doing here? Trying to go long ball against young boys in the Champions League. It was shocking. Yeah, who was the first sub? Was it Pogba?
Yeah, so Pogba came on for Fred, but Pogba and Lukaku came on at the same time.
So it was, yeah.
So then Lukaku came on for Lingard, And so I gave Lukaku a 5.5 because he did have the technical assist where he headed it off to Fellaini.
Yeah, that's true. I loved his first bit of contribution towards the game, where he completely missed a touch. Normally his touch goes into Rosette, but he missed it this time. As soon as that happened, I thought, this is going to be a long game.
Well, and then Lukaku's comments before the game, too, really, really put a bad taste in my mouth about him being Mourinho's favorite and stuff like that. It's like, we already knew that, bro. We already knew you were a Mourinho favorite. You, Matic, and Fellaini, you're all Mourinho favorites. We already know it. Like, no need to talk about it. And then Mata came on, and I mean, Mata really didn't do anything. I gave Pogba and Mata a 5, and then Lukaku a 5.5.
Yeah, I'd kind of say the same thing. And Mata wasn't brought on for his playmaking abilities to be a creative force in open play. He was brought on to hoof those free kicks into Fellaini.
Yeah, he was brought on in case of a free quick kick situation. You knew that.
You could have just brought someone like Sanchez on or whatever to mix it up. At least if you're going to have tall players, have a couple of small ones as well. It was just so frustrating, the subs. To be fair, I'm not going to say the subs kind of worked out because it was Fellaini that ultimately got the goal. But we played more of a long ball style, and even then, like I said, it's against young boys who are terrible, and we've gone long ball against them at home.
Yeah.
Shocking.
I mean, so Matthew, I know it's past 11 o'clock there for you guys in the UK, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to wrap it up. I mean, Matthew, do you want to give some final thoughts on the game?
Final thoughts. I'm happy that we won, but I'm not at the same time because my bet, thanks Fellaini. Absolute shock. I'm going to burn that Fellaini shirt that I've got. Not even going to sell. It's not worth any money.
Of course it's not.
I knew it as well when Fellaini got that haircut. I said, I'll bet you anything in one of his next few matches he's going to score ahead of.
I think that everybody kind of had the feeling that Fellaini was going to score today when they saw he was starting.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, I hope not, because it was 0-0, 1-0 young boys that I put the bets on. But anyways, apart from my financial struggles in that game, it was just a poor performance all right. Yeah, we created some chances here and there, but most of them are half chances that Rashford just couldn't convert whatsoever. And like I said, the fact that we've had to go long ball in the last 2 games at home to Crystal Palace and young boys, and we scored a combined 1 goal from that. That's just completely unacceptable.
Yeah.
Something just needs to change.
I mean, I completely agree, Matthew. And Chris McTeague has a fantastic comment here. He said the board are definitely at fault, but Jose should easily be top 4 with this squad, and Jose can't use the board as an excuse. Regardless, us fans are entitled to demand better from both the board and Jose. And spot on there, Chris. I mean, absolutely spot on. Because, in all honesty, we shouldn't be. And I did it in my post-match video on Twitter, but I ranted a little bit because Mourinho has lowered our expectations to be expecting to finish 1-0, squeaking out wins, barely, against bottom side teams that shouldn't even be in the same conversation as us, and yet continues to just do this. Our expectations go here and here and here, and eventually we're going to be having the expectations of a club that should be finishing mid-table. Like, that's absolutely pathetic. We are fucking Manchester United. We are Manchester United, and our expectations are down at a mid-table club. There's no excuses for that. Our expectations should never be anything less than trying to win a title every single year. And the reason why I enjoyed Chris's comments so much is because we should be top 4 with this squad, because it's the same fucking squad that Mourinho had last year. The same one.
Definitely.
And he added 2 players. The only player he lost was Daley Blind. The only one.
He didn't really feature that much.
And I was about to say, he didn't even matter to the squad. Tottenham didn't get anybody. And they're probably going to finish in top 3. They're probably going to finish in top 3. We have no excuses. None. That we are at this point. That we're being happy that we squeaked out a 1-0 win. A 1-0 win against the Young Boys. A team that I guarantee you, Crystal Palace would have probably beaten 4-0. And I bet you that even Fulham would probably go out there and beat Young Boys 2 or 3-0.
Oh, yeah.
Wolves, guaranteed. Any mid-table side, I guarantee you, would go out there and put an absolute beating to Young Boys. And yet, it took us to stoppage time. I'm repeating it again. It took us to stoppage time to manage to pull off a win. Absolute bullshit, absolutely unacceptable. I refuse to accept that Manchester United should be squeaking out a 1-0 win at home against Young Boys. I can't. I can't accept that. I'm sorry for
you
using.
know what? Young Boys could have gone ahead at the end of the first half if that striker didn't try and back heel like you could absolutely mong.
Yeah.
You should have just hit it first time. And it would have been a second goal or just dummy dicks. There was 2 players behind him. If that happened, then second half would have been so much different.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we would have actually opened up a bit. But
maybe.
I mean, guys, I'm sorry for using so much language in that rant there, but it pisses me off to have Manchester United be at this point. We should never be accepting of what's going on that pitch right now, guys. Never. It's inexcusable. I mean, I'm at an absolute loss for what has happened to the Manchester United that we expected to see. We expect to see better. We deserve to see better. And it's not like, this is why Mourinho needs to be gone. Needs to be gone. Because end of the day, being happy about a 1-0 result where we beat them in stoppage time because Fellaini manages to get the ball. And like I said, we're lucky he didn't get called for a handball. It wasn't anything crazy that he controlled the ball with his hand, but that could still be called a handball. And we got Jose throwing water bottles like it was some kind of big thing to happen. Complete and utter bullcrap, guys. Don't expect. I have no idea
what that was.
Matthew, I don't know, bro. I don't know. But guys, so I mean, like I said, I know it's super late over there, so we're gonna officially wrap this up. So Matthew, you got it. I know I put your Etsy store and your Twitter handle in the description below, but I'll let you shout it out yourself. Even talk about the fact that you had a pretty dang good, holiday period so far.
I'll tell you what, I had a Black Friday discount for the last few days or whatever. To be fair, it did start out quite slow, but in the last day, the orders started picking up pace, and hopefully in the next few weeks there might be another poster there somewhere. Not of a player, not even of a human. I've got your boy Arthur in that same Pulisic style poster.
Yep.
And I'm sending that hopefully in the next 2 days or so.
I'm going to be putting in the order here in the next couple of days, Matthew. Might have to wait till wifey gets paid. But
no worries.
Well, if you guys haven't seen it, so I'm going to pull it up here real quick. But you guys can't actually order this. I'm going to try and convince Matthew to put the Arthur poster on the store. It's the only poster you need to buy. Let's be real. But I'm actually getting a discount because I am the owner. You guys have to pay like 500 pounds a piece. Easy.
Oh, yeah.
Easy. And it's worth it.
600 if you want to say.
Arthur isn't feeling too good today, guys. He's lying down right here. Bubs, you want to come say hi to the people? Come on. Come on. No, guys. So here, I'll just show you guys here. So the Bubs isn't feeling too good, guys. Poor little guy.
Like his little shirt that he's got on.
Yeah, his little Champions League style sweater. But yeah, he's been lying here pretty much since he threw up, and he hasn't been feeling too good, guys. So poor little guy. But
everyone loves Arthur in the comments.
Everybody,
yeah, lots of comments in there.
I mean, let's be real. If it wasn't for Arthur, you guys probably wouldn't even be watching.
Oh, he's the heart of the channel.
Yeah, Arthur is the heart of the channel. I might even make Arthur the profile picture for the channel. Let's be real. You guys wouldn't watch if it wasn't for him. I know it. It's okay. I'm not offended. He's cute. Yeah, seriously, Ben said it. Even Jose's affecting Arthur. Damn it. Damn it, Mourinho. Get out of my club. You're killing Arthur. Like, guys, anyways. So, Matthew, continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So that Black Friday discount went quite well. Unfortunately, the poster's back up to the normal price again, but still quite affordable. If I do say so myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the description is the offsite graphics link. Store's actually going really well at the moment, considering I've had it for about 3.5 weeks now, nearly 4 weeks. I seem to be getting over a sale date at the moment, which is quite nice. So hopefully the Christmas period should be busy.
Yeah.
I'm going to be cramming that in as well as my coursework, so that's going to be a stressful time. But yeah, so I think I've got, 120 posters up there or so. With tons of different teams, so have a look at that if you want.
Yeah, guys, do check them out. Like he said, they're in this style here. They're absolutely amazing. I know that he's actually gotten a couple of them to pros already. So we'll keep it quiet about who. Shh. But there are some pros out there that have them.
Intent is a Man City player, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah. Poor baby. But, guys, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to wrap myself up here. Not literally. I don't go to dirty places there, guys. Come on now. But, so, guys, I'm sorry that we had to watch what was an absolute shit performance. I paid $3.50 to be able to watch the match on Bleacher Report Live today. And
paid for that.
Yeah, I paid for it. I paid to be entertained, and that's what I got, guys. Don't get me wrong.
That's shocking.
I'll always pay to watch my club. But at the end of the day, guys, Manchester United pulled out the win. We're on to the round of 16. And whether we should be excited about it or not, completely different story. But, guys, we're on to the round of 16. Let's be happy about that, because once you get there, you never know what can happen. I'm not saying we're going to win the Champions League, because we're not. I'm just saying you never know what can happen once you actually get there. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. I mean, I know that it's almost midnight there for you. Just God bless you guys for tuning in. Share it with your friends. Be sure to drop a like on your way out. And, guys, honestly, I genuinely appreciate every single one of you guys in here. I know that Matthew and I, we're going to do a show tomorrow, our Manchester United weekly show. I think that we're probably going to do a Q&A tomorrow. Probably do a Q&A, just nice and simple. So, yeah, guys. But God bless you guys. Love you guys. And just let's keep going, because we're Manchester United. At the end of the day, that right there is bigger than anything, guys. Have a great night, a great day, wherever you're at, wherever you're doing. Keep doing you, because you guys are awesome. Genuinely, you are. Let's go.
See ya.